They thought it would be funny, pairing the quiet single-dad janitor with the deaf military commander who rarely spoke to anyone. A cruel setup, a joke meant to humiliate a man who already lived at the bottom of the ladder. But by the time the sun set that evening, the only ones laughing were gone, and the only ones left were the same people who had mocked him, now standing in silence, wiping tears from their faces as the nobody janitor did something none of them had the courage or heart to do. Ethan Ward had spent years working as a school janitor, always unnoticed, always underestimated. He was a single dad raising his 10-year-old daughter, Lily, who adored him more than anyone else in the world. Every morning he kissed her forehead before school, tucked a note into her lunchbox, and whispered, "I'm doing all this for you, Bug." But no one at the school saw that side of him. They saw old sneakers, tired clothes, and a mop in his hand. Nothing more. The teachers often talked around him as if he couldn't hear. The students ignored him unless they needed something cleaned. And a few staff members, particularly a small group of young, arrogant coaches, found entertainment in mocking him behind his back. One day, they decided to take things further. "Let's set him up with Commander Hayes," Coach Miller whispered with a snicker. "Tell him the commander needs help, a special kind of help. He won't refuse. He's too scared to talk back." Commander Rowan Hayes was a retired military officer invited as a guest for Leadership Week. He was tall, stern, silent, and deaf. He communicated using sign language and concise written notes. Students respected him. Staff feared him. But no one really engaged with him. Ethan was sweeping the gym hallway when Coach Miller approached him with a fake smile. "Hey, Ethan! The commander needs a volunteer, someone to assist him with his presentation. He specifically asked for you." Ethan blinked in confusion. "Me? He asked for me?" "Yeah," Miller lied easily. "Says he wants someone with your expertise." Ethan didn't catch the insult layered into that word. He just felt honored. No one ever requested him for anything important. When he entered the auditorium, Commander Hayes stood alone, adjusting old papers with shaky hands. Ethan stepped forward, awkward but polite. He grabbed a dry erase board and marker, writing slowly, "How can I help?" The commander turned, surprise crossing his face. Most avoided him because they didn't know how to communicate. Seeing someone try meant something. He signed something back. Quick, sharp gestures Ethan didn't understand. Ethan scribbled again, embarrassed. "I don't know sign language. But I want to help." For a second, the commander's expression softened. He nodded, took the marker, and wrote, "Heart matters more than skill." Behind the curtains, the coaches snickered. They expected awkwardness, failure, embarrassment. They expected the janitor to crumble. But what they got was a spark neither of them saw coming. The commander lifted a small box of worn medals and dog tags. Ethan didn't know their meaning yet. He only felt the weight of something painful in the man's eyes. Something heavy. Something he recognized. Loss. The commander wrote, "Today is my son's birthday." He would have been 30. Ethan stopped breathing for a moment. Then he wrote beneath it, "I'm sorry. I know how it feels to lose someone too." And for the first time since arriving at the school, Commander Hayes placed a hand on someone's shoulder. A silent thank you. The joke, meant to humiliate Ethan, had just connected two men who understood each other more deeply than anyone else in the room. The auditorium filled quickly. Students, teachers, coaches, the whole school, waited for the commander's leadership speech. They expected the usual, discipline, bravery, military stories. No one expected Ethan to be on stage with him. As the room quieted, the commander tapped Ethan's arm and handed him a sheet of paper. It wasn't instructions, it was trust. Ethan realized the commander wanted him to narrate, while he signed. A partnership. Equal. Ethan swallowed hard. Public speaking terrified him. But he couldn't fail the man who had trusted him more than anyone had in years. When the presentation began, Commander Hayes lifted his hands, signing with powerful, deliberate movements. Ethan followed, speaking each line with trembling clarity. "This is the story of leadership," he began. "Not the kind found in ranks or medals, but the kind found in choosing compassion over strength." The room shifted. Students leaned forward. Teachers froze. The coaches, who expected a disaster, went silent. The slides changed to a photo of a soldier holding a small boy, Commander Hayes with his son years ago. Ethan's voice cracked as he read the commander's words. "My son taught me to listen without sound, to speak without words, and to love without conditions." The commander's hands trembled when he signed the last line. Ethan's throat tightened. Then, without planning it, Ethan set the paper aside and spoke from his heart. "I'm just a janitor," he said. "Most of you don't see me. But today, this man gave me a chance to stand beside him. And I think real leadership is exactly that, making people feel seen, no matter who they are." The commander turned sharply toward Ethan, eyes wide, glassy. Slowly, he signed something emotional, deliberate. Ethan read it aloud, voice shaking. "He is not just a janitor. He is the strongest man in this room. He showed up when no one else would." Gasps filled the auditorium. Some teachers lowered their eyes in shame. Students wiped tears quietly. Even the coaches, who had orchestrated the cruel setup, felt their faces burn. And then the moment that changed everything happened. Commander Hayes stepped forward and saluted Ethan. A full military salute. A gesture reserved for honor. The entire auditorium rose to its feet. Applause thundered, echoing off the walls, as Ethan stood frozen, overwhelmed, tears forming behind his eyes. No one had ever saluted him. No one had ever seen him that way before. When he finally looked at Lily, standing in the front row, crying but smiling, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years. Pride. Pure, fierce pride. The commander lowered his salute, took Ethan's hand, and wrote one final sentence. "You turned their joke into your victory." And he had. By the time the day ended, the same people who mocked Ethan now looked at him with respect they had denied him for years. Not because he demanded it, because he earned it with nothing but kindness, courage, and sincerity.